Good evening, everybody. Welcome on board to Monday Night Live here at Healing with Marcus. So, we are here to meet in the spirit of spirit, the big healing sphere of our world, the big energetic ether through which we are all connected. And you may think that because this is a YouTube live, we are connecting through YouTube, but it's really not through YouTube. It's really through the energy field of our world. Some people refer to it as the quantum field, and others as the field of spirit. And some in the Indian old tradition, they considered the fifth element to be the ether. Welcome on board. L.E.K., there you are, my sister. It's been a while, and I'm so glad we're still here and we're on here again. So as we meet, we don't only meet through the ether or the media of YouTube. We also meet in the ether. And this is where the real connection happens, right? So as you sit there and you feel into and take in the energy that's coming through me in words, we're also connecting in the ether. So you're taking in the healing energy that is being transmitted and transferred. And I know that this is a beautiful space to meet in. That we're all accessing this ether. It's much like a spiritual Wi-Fi, except nothing is needed to carry it. All that's needed to carry it is to be open. And even when you're not open, you're still receiving healing and you're still receiving higher vibrations. It's a lot like if we are getting, when the earth is bombarded by different solar activities, we're all receiving the activity. We're all receiving the upgrades, the downloads, and the information that's coming through energetically through the spiritual Wi-Fi of our world, regardless if you believe in it or not. But of course, when you're open, you notice it. When you're open, you go, oh, I feel different. Oh, I feel better. I feel more grounded. I feel more open. I feel more love. And this is a beautiful space to meet in. So that's what happens in these activations and meditations and healing sessions that we do. I have pulled back from social media quite a lot, and it's a beautiful experience, even though I know it becomes a little bit of a hole on the other end of the spectrum. But for me, it is a good experience, and it's good for my energy, and it's good for my healing and my integrity. So, but of course, I'm always here for you. We just have to set something up. And so today's theme is either crazy gods or the gods must be crazy. And it dawned on me, it came to me in meditation yesterday. And it was the theme of the morning activation yesterday on the beach. It's the theme, it actually came to me when I was sitting on the beach. And I was just sitting, and I heard these loud booms. Boom. And when I was a kid growing up in Sweden, the military would do exercises. And we'd hear these loud booms, and we'd know that that was the Navy doing different forms of bombings, right? And that's what they're doing here too, right? They're practicing their bombings, their bombs. And what happens? So as I was sitting there listening to it, there were a plethora of things passing through my mind, right? And The first part of it is, of course, a bit negative, and the second part of it is, of course, a bit beautiful, or maybe very beautiful. But if we start by looking at us humans throwing bombs in the ocean, or above the ocean, but in the ocean, creating these explosions underwater, sound waves moving out through the water, and of course, injuring, hurting tons of animals, killing whales, dolphins, sharks, whatever else, jellyfish, whatever else is out there in the ether, um, that is getting, or in the water, that's getting hurt by these bombs. And then, we can consider when we were experimenting with the atomic bomb on the atolls, the small islands in the South Pacific, how we were killing tons of animals that way too. And sometimes humans, because they would get the radiation, the fallout from the different bombs. And, we can say, first we can see how dangerous and negative that is. And then we can see how what we have created too, we have created cars, airplanes, ships that are letting out a lot of toxins, right? The way they're being propelled is with in my world, it's old-fashioned, using carbon fossil oil to propel these ships and airplanes and cars and trucks and everything. We are poisoning our world. And then we look at how we live in our cities, and in the cities we are also very much poisoning our world, not knowing that we're doing it, not realizing we're doing it. And if we think about how a rainfall comes, like in LA, the rainfall comes and all the bad stuff on top of the streets, the surface levels, is getting washed into the ocean. So if you go swimming the day after a storm here, you get sick because the poison level in the water is so bad that we get sick. And of course, on a certain level, we can look and we can see how the cities, human cities, have grown a lot like a cancer on our planet. Right? And they're growing and they're poisoning everything around them. And then, we have freeways leading to another city that's also growing, and that's also creating more toxins and bad things for our environment. And then we go back to the bombs, we realize that on a certain level, if you were an animal, if you were a bird or any kind of animal who would see, you would watch a human press a button or almost like flip their fingers, and a whole bomb goes off. Sometimes the bombs, can be big enough to level whole cities. But even just the bomb going off, if we zoom out a little bit and we look at time in a different way, you put an old human, like 300-400 years ago, put a human from that time here, and they see what we're doing with our modern bombs and airplanes and everything, they would almost consider us gods. And if we look at it from an animal perspective, it sort of looks like gods, because we're doing things that are really incredible and horrible, of course, but they're incredible. It's like when you light a lighter with a thumb, movement of a thumb, you can create fire. That's incredible, considering how we did it before, or considering that most animals have no clue how to do that, right? So on a certain level, now they don't need fire to survive, on the other hand. But if we come back to what it looks like when we do this, on a certain level, we are like gods. We can create fire with a flip of a thumb. We can create explosions, destruction, with a press of a button. We can move through on the surface level in a car very fast. We can fly through the air. We can fly into space. That's very godlike in many ways. But unfortunately, the way we are doing it, the way it's been expressing itself through us, is of course crazy. It's a lot like gods who have gone nuts, where we're bombing each other, we're bombing others. We don't even realize that we are killing tons of animals and life with these bombs. We're not only killing humans, right? So we have all these powers. We have developed, evolved, figured out how to make a lot of different things that used the right way would be extremely helpful. But unfortunately, most of it is being used very unhelpful, unhealthy. Unfortunately, we are like gods who have gone crazy. It's like the movie from the early 1980s that says the gods must be crazy. That's what I thought of when I realized how what we are doing is on so many levels crazy. Because we have lost our way. Humanity, as a species, have lost our connection to our planet and to our higher self. When we are activating the root chakra and we're growing roots into Earth Mother, which I recommend always to do in your meditation, or go out into nature and sit with a tree. Go out into nature and sit in a park. Go out into nature and sit in the woods or in the mountains. And just take in what nature can teach you. We learn a lot about life itself. We learn a lot about the nature of life. And then we can watch that when we were still indigenous people, when we were still living in touch with nature, we didn't take more than we needed. We didn't injure animals more than we needed. We didn't kill more than we needed. And then somewhere along the lines came fear and greed, and maybe something else as well, but we can call it fear and greed to start with. And humans completely lost their way. Now, of course, not everything about our evolution is bad. And there are so many things that we use the right way. We could be true gods, right? When you are in touch with your higher self and with Earth Mother herself and with nature itself, which is life itself, and you are in touch with yourself too, your body, your physicality, and you are in touch with that, a deeper wisdom comes through. A deeper knowing comes through. And as this deeper knowing makes itself aware and known inside of you, much like for you, dear LEK, you know from working with the herbs and the plants and the flowers and the incense and the sage, you know so much more about nature than you did before you started that work. Because we pick up on things. See, your human nature, the programming that's inside of you, and welcome on board whoever else is on board. Your human nature, which has lived in touch with nature for thousands of years until the last few hundred years. See, the last few hundred years, we've completely lost touch with nature. It's been a process that started at least 2,000 years ago. And that process, actually more like 2,500 years ago, and maybe longer back than that. But, you know, with the Roman kingdom or the way the Roman Empire spread and evolved, and the way it took in other people, and then the energy of the Roman Empire went into the Catholic Roman Church, and then that went into different kingdoms, different countries. All of this grew into what we have today, where we are completely disconnected from Earth Mother herself, from nature herself. This is why it's healthy for us to return to our roots. It's why it's healthy to listen to the indigenous people. It's healthy to listen to the shamans of the indigenous people. Because they know. They know things that we think you have to read in a book to know. original intelligence, which is present within you. But most of us in our modern Western world, we don't know that original intelligence is there. We think we have to study for years and years and years in order to to learn what's already in there. So returning to your original intelligence means that means returning to life force energy within you. And of course, my hope with these talks and this energy work is to help people return to their true core energy, who you were before trauma stepped in, who you were before society got the better part of us. See, when society or domestication happened for us, we suddenly agreed to, yeah, you need to be afraid. Yeah, we need to be worried. Yeah, we need to move into the world from a different space. We need to move in and be very afraid that there's not enough. But if you looked at how indigenous people lived, they knew that when we stayed in correct relation with Earth Mother, we actually didn't have to worry. It's only when we left that part that worry set in. And that's what so we are able to create miracles. If you squeeze down time, so we look at an ant, right? We look at ants and we can see that they can build an anthill very fast. And we're always impressed. We're so impressed at what the ants can do. Of course, we should be. It's impressive. But if we zoom out on time just a little bit, so for the last 100 years, we look at what humans have accomplished on Earth. If we don't see the negativity of it, but we see what we have done, we can see how we can build skyscrapers really fast. If you zoom out a little bit, it would look like skyscrapers were built very, very quick. Like they just woof. And on one other level, magically speaking, if you realize how magical it is, how powerful it is, that one human has the idea, I want to build a high building. And he's like, okay, I'm going to hire somebody who can draw it. So this architect draws the high building that the person wanted to build, and then they hire a construction crew to build what the architect drew, and suddenly you have a skyscraper or a regular house. But we have created something, not completely out of nothing, but we have manipulated matter into something new. And on so many levels, that's godlike qualities. We just don't understand that that's what it is. We don't see it because it's so close to home. So we don't see our own godlike qualities. And then we end up misusing them because we are operating from fear. And in that sense, if you looked at another race or species doing what we do to Earth or to each other, you'd see them, if aliens came here, or if we went to see aliens somewhere, and we'd see, oh my God, they are so creative. They can build these flying ships, and they can build these rolling things, and they can move really fast, and they have communication through little handheld devices. They're very, very intelligent. And they can create explosive bombs and weapons that are very dangerous. What do they use it for? They bomb each other. They blow each other up. They kill each other. We'd be like, hang on, so maybe they're not as intelligent as we thought. Maybe they're a bit crazy. Maybe they are a bit dangerous. So when we come back home, we realize and recognize that what we're doing to each other and to Earth Mother is crazy. We have gone crazy. The real healing, the real work, lies in coming back home for each one of us. Recognizing traumas that are in our system, recognizing damage, that we are damaged to a certain way. Not that we aren't repairable, not that we can't fix it, but when we act out of fear, We're traumatized, we are acting from trauma, and we are also traumatizing each other. So until we see that, we're not going to really help the world heal. When we're only coming from, you have to do this or that, the energy we're bringing forth isn't really a healing energy. There's control, it's fear-based. But when we're coming from a space of inner healing, and we're speaking on inner healing, and we are helping each other to heal, we are returning to original self. We're returning to original intelligence, natural nature intelligence. And we will know deep inside that there is no room for us to kill each other, that there is no room for us to not take care of Earth Mother, take care of life itself, because we are life itself. All of us have godlike qualities. All of us have very high frequency access inside of us. Most of us don't recognize it. Most of us hear a little voice in the head or a little feeling in the gut or in your heart that says, oh, I can do a little better. Oh, I wish I could do this better. But we don't truly adhere to it. We don't truly come back home. If we did, if more of us came back home, this whole process would be completely different. What we call democracy would be an honest system where we truly can ignite change. We can create change because we would use our godlike qualities to help create a better world. So I'm not speaking on this to make anyone feel worse. I'm speaking on this so we can all wake up to our inner godlike qualities, our heart-centered knowing, our deep, innate knowing of peace, of love, equality, joy. And as you sit in your joy, the circles will be spreading. Both physically, because you're smiling more, so when you walk into a room, other people will smile. But also energetically, as more, thank you, LEK, as more and more of us vibrate higher, we are raising the field of consciousness around us. And it is a beautiful journey and it's a beautiful experience. Yes, sir. So the gods must be crazy, or the gods have gone crazy, meaning we have gone crazy, meaning we want to find our way back home. So we don't have to be crazy. Almost like the old funny cartoons with one angel on his shoulder and a devil on one shoulder, and we're choosing who to listen to, and most of our world chose to listen to what they call the devil or negative fear-filled, fear-based forces. The more we listen to that angel, the more we feel better. We heal ourselves. And we heal our world. So let's do a meditation together. There might be a few sounds coming through me, but we're not sure. Let's do a meditation together for a few minutes to bring our sense of home into our body. We're going to begin by taking a few deep breaths all the way down, preferably all the way to the root chakra. at least to the sacral chakra by your belly button. Breathe as deeply as you can. Two more breaths. And as we're breathing, feel yourself coming back home. Now, I want you, with your awareness, to bring it into your sacral chakra, the belly button area. And with each breath, deepen a sense both of awareness, light, and love in that area. Feel your shoulders relaxing. Feel your body coming into a calmer state. Feel your root chakra relaxing. Relax around your butt. Relax your hips. Practice your sense of strength and security as we're connecting to Earth Mother. Keep coming into your body. Keep feeling everything that's in there. Now I'd like you to begin to envision a spinning ball of light and fire in your root chakra, the bottom of your spine, around your genitals. In that area, envision a ball of fire spinning out in front of you, behind you, and possibly downwards. Now let that light, that fire, spread and move up to your sacral chakra. So while it's still in the root, it's also getting activated in the area of your belly button. Maybe at first it doesn't spin that fast. But as you sit with your inner feeling of love and light, it begins to move. And now we're moving up into the solar plexus, letting the same fire and flames begin to spin out from your solar plexus, in front of you and behind you. Keep those fires moving. Then we move up into the center of our chest, including the heart area. And here as well, the fire and the light starts to spin, exuding energy in all directions. And now we're coming up to the throat chakra. This is the whole area of your throat and your neck, including the thyroid gland. And as your throat starts to feel different, this light and fire is now moving up to the third eye chakra, the middle of your forehead. But this here is a thinner, almost a pointed light, shooting out in front of you and behind you. And now we're moving to the top of our head. Feel the crown chakra spinning like a big vortex up from your top of your head, from your brain, up into the heavens, into the sky. Feel yourself being connected upwards to the sky, Father Sky, and down into Earth Mother through your roots. The energy is going up and down your spine and up and down inside your body, keeping all these centers, these chakra wheels spinning. Stay with it a little longer. Feel the healing light fill you up. And here we are, full of moving energy, full of life. Connected to Earth Mother, connected to Father Sky. Bring yourself back into your body. Coming into the room. Welcome back into the room. Feel this renewed energy in your system. Feel how this is leading you, guiding you into innate intelligence, original core intelligence inside of you. Every cell in your body carries DNA, carries memory, carries knowing, a deep knowing. Your energetic field, your energetic lineage carries knowing, a deep knowing. The more quiet our minds can get, the more we can hear this knowing. Gnosis, gnosis. Yes. This is how we reawaken to our godlike nature. I want to thank you for joining me today. Thank you, my dear sister Ellie Kay, and whoever else is watching this. We are stepping into our godlike energy of love, presence, awareness, consciousness, and moving away from the crazy God energy. So thank you, everyone. Have a beautiful, wonderful, lovely week. I should be back next week, if not before. Much love, much love, much love. Namaste and aho. Thank you so much. Absolute magic, powerful healing. So much love. Thank you, Ellie Kay. I'm so glad you were here. Have a blessed week. Have a blessed week.